Graham. No, I'm waiting to go into marriage counselling. Oh, didn't I tell you? That's no big deal. I work my mind games. Got the counsellor under my thumb. Control him, feed him what I want him to say, so he always takes my side. Damn right I'm the master of my house. Oh, better go.
Will.
Guy, sorry, the door was half open, so I thought you...
weren't in there?
Yes. Can you...
Hear conversations through a half-open door? Yes, I can.
Clearly?
Clear enough.
Right, look, I just...
Look, excuse me. Hello, Claudia. Listen, calm down. I never said I would. We're both adults. And exchanging numbers after a night together is something people do. It doesn't constitute a commitment to use the numbers. No, we don't need to meet. Because I made it clear that night was about one night between consenting adults. I don't have time for this, so please don't ring again. Will. The door seems to be open again.
Yep. Got all of that? Very smooth.
Let's just pretend neither of us overheard the other.
Deal.
Oh. Hi, darling. Guess what?
Shh, door's open. Guy can hear.
Well, let me whisper it then.
Let's leave it till after.
Okay, ready for you now.
Good. We're ready and consenting.
So, how are things?
Well, we had quite a difficult week with some building work. Will found it hard to tell the builder what we wanted, so I was on a bit of a short fuse with him. But I found that appreciation exercise you set us really, really helpful.
The 5 things you cherish about each other. Well, let's start by hearing and discussing those.
Sure, here's mine.
Will, can I have yours? It'll help if I read them out as a neutral party. Apologies, I thought I turned it off.
I'll take it. I need to find my list. It's in my bag somewhere.
No, it would be unprofessional.
Oh, I don't mind.
We insist.
I've missed it anyway.
Seems like someone really wants to get hold of you.
If you'll, excuse me. Guy speaking. How did you get this number?
Have you got a pen?
Oh, have you not done yours?
With all that's been going on this week, it slipped my mind.
Look, I'm actually finding this quite intrusive.
I've reminded you every morning this week.
No, I'm not doing this. I'm hanging up now.
Problem?
Cold caller.
Sounded pretty hot to me.
Is that your list, Will?
Yeah, just, here it is.
Okay. Annabelle first. 5 things I cherish about Will. His kindness, his warmth, his needs to do things properly, his loyalty, and his... I'm sorry, I'm not sure I'm reading this last one correctly. Does that say?
Charm.
Oh, I thought that's what it looked like, but thought it best to check. Will, how do you feel about Annabelle's list? Are those qualities you expected her to cherish, or even knew you had?
Obviously, it's very flattering indeed. That was lovely, darling. Guy, can I have mine back? I just need to...
No. They're supposed to be written in isolation. You're not supposed to react to what each other has said.
Don't be embarrassed, darling.
Well, you know, I'm worried they might come across as a bit gushing, a bit soppy. And all this week you've been moaning about me not being enough of a man. So, come on, give them back.
No. Right. 5 things I cherish about Annabelle. Number 1, excellent present wrapper.
I love those curly bows you do. It's so kind.
Number 2, financially solvent.
I've always been impressed with your fiscal responsibility, which means we can have the heating on whenever we need. In other words, I too love your warmth.
3, doesn't use abbreviations in text. 4, good speller. They're kind of similar points.
I was running out of things to say. 'Cause you're so perfect. Does that work?
No.
And 5, excellent personal hygiene.
I kind of pulled it back at the end there, didn't I?
Sorry, is that all you think of me? That I wrap nice presents, earn a decent wage, and don't smell?
And that you're a good speller.
After all all the nice things I said, and that's what you come up with.
I thought this was about finding new things to say. You're always complaining I talk about the same things.
I never want to hear you talk again about how the plot of Die Hard 2 doesn't work.
If there hadn't been a really bad snowstorm, those planes could have landed fine.
But I will never tire of being told what a brilliant wife I am.
Look, I've been exhausted this past week. The builder has driven me mad.
Now, this problem with talking to the builder, was it a masculinity issue?
No.
Yes, it was. Every time we have builders or plumbers in, you freak out. Last time he started doing free weights in front of them and talking about getting a tattoo.
My problem with this builder was that we didn't need him.
No, what we didn't need was you needlessly alienating our upstairs neighbour.
Psst, Annabelle.
Will? Why are you hiding behind a car?
Shh, get down, she'll see you.
Well, who?
Saskia. She's talking to next door. We can't sneak past. I came out to buy some milk and I've been waiting to get back in the flat for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, well, look, I'm not staying here. It stinks. Oh, I'm squatting over a drain.
No, don't move. She'll try and guilt trip us into another stupid community scheme.
Oh, come on. Her heart's in the right place.
You weren't the one she press-ganged to go into a youth club to talk to a bunch of delinquents about creative writing. The only question they asked at the end was, does your mum cut your hair?
Will, what are you doing down here?
Oh, hi, Saskia.
Just being neighbourly, checking the tyre pressure on the cars.
Of course, a really neighbourly thing to do would be to explain to the owners the damage their cars do to the larger neighbourhood, the earth.
Of course.
Here, take a leaflet. I'm trying to drum up some volunteers to dredge the pond on the common. We're going to restore it to its natural state.
We'll take a leaflet and see if we can make any of the times.
No, look, let's not take a leaflet. For once, I'm going to be honest. I don't want to dredge a pond. I just don't want to do it. I'm never going to want to do it. I don't have the time.
Well, you could at least find the time to use your recycling box.
The thing is, I don't like being browbeaten about it all the time. With China and India industrialising, it feels like someone's taking a crap on my living room floor and then having a go at me for not dusting.
Fine, let's see if you feel the same way when the temperatures soar and the Thames floods and the dinosaurs come back and feast on your remains.
Well, save you having to dredge the pond.
Well, that was out of order. You know, there are a lot worse people who could be living above us.
Oh, come on, you're always having a go at me for saying what I think people want to hear. I was standing up for myself.
You should apologise. Take her a bottle of wine and warn her about the building work.
Oh, don't tell me you booked a builder. The last one kept calling me Duchess.
Don't worry, it's a nice middle-class builder. It's a city worker who's retrained in the downturn.
Oh, that's even worse. People like that are rubbish at their half-learned crafts. They're only good for space-filling profile pieces in Sunday supplement magazines. It was her boss's husband, so it was immediately awkward.
Well, she said he was brilliant, but was finding it difficult to get work.
Well, that should have set the alarm bells ringing. It's like when people say, I've got this friend and I just cannot understand why they're single. Then you meet them and it's clear they've been studying for a degree in arseholery from the Piers Morgan Institute of Smug.
I just wish you'd acknowledge that giving him a job was a nice thing to do.
You only did it to get points with your boss. And we didn't even have any work for him to do.
We did! You've been saying you'd regrout the bathroom tiles for the last 6 months.
It wasn't urgent. There was nothing wrong with the grout.
It was going mouldy.
Oh, so mould's bad on a bathroom wall, but it's fine on a Stilton. Your standards are all over the place.
Well, you were never going to do it. You tried once and nearly had a breakdown in B&Q.
Have you any idea how many types of grout there are? They had an aisle that went on for half a mile. It was like the warehouse at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well, it didn't stop you coming back with a sealant gun.
I had to buy that. I was caught playing with it.
Playing with it?
I was pretending it was a grenade launcher. Don't look at me like that, Guy. You're a man. You have the same hormones as me. And that means when the doors are locked and you think no one's looking, you hold a hairdryer like a pistol and you use a golfing umbrella as a sniper's rifle.
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
Said with all the conviction of a bought witness in a trial against a Russian oligarch.
Do you think your resistance to having a builder in the house is to do with annoyance at having another person in what is, for you, your workplace?
I have a set of conditions that I find ideal for working on the book, if that's what you mean. Conditions I don't like to see breached.
Falling asleep in front of Battlestar Galactica with a packet of biscuits, playing Call of Duty while yelling at 5 Live.
creative mind needs to be fertilised with diverse influences.
Now, what I'm driving at is that you have a certain self-image as a dedicated artist, documenting what you see as the terminal decline of your country. And having another person present during your working hours might dent that self-image.
Well, most people's self-image probably doesn't stand up to scrutiny. For instance, someone might consider themselves a great judge of people and the ethics of sex and relationships, and yet still end up involved with a lunatic. I mean, that is possible, isn't it, guys?
Yes, it's possible.
Or someone else, Annabelle, might consider themselves experienced at financial management and yet bring someone into their home who was utterly uncontrollable in any normal business sense. Hey, Adam, can I get you a tea or a coffee?
Tea, please. Milk, no sugar. Oh, have you thought any more about the tiles?
Yes, we thought about it, but if it's okay with you, we'd like you to just regrout what we've got and stick with the existing white tiles.
So you're sticking with what you want?
Yes, if that's okay.
What about what the bathroom wants?
Sorry?
So, you see, rooms have personalities, they have moods. You have to listen to them, see what colours they would like to be.
It's a bathroom. It aids in the removal of waste products. If it has a character, surely it's one of submission to our will.
Exactly. You've bullied this room. You've neglected it.
If you say so, but that's why we think regrouting it, we'll just give it a bit of a lift.
Yeah, that's like giving copper coins to a beggar. They need more. I mean, these tiles, you really want to stick with them?
Well, white is bright, fresh, clean.
Stark, dull, predictable. Did you even look at my other suggestions?
The purple and the black? Yes. Yes, we did.
And what was the problem?
Well, it wasn't a problem. It was just...
Well, you see, it is a problem if you hire me for my opinion and then just ignore it. What do you do for a living, Will?
I'm a writer. I'm writing a novel.
And what's your book about?
It's quite hard to sum up, really. It started off as a spy thriller, but it's mutated into this historical sci-fi epic with various ghosts of Great Britain's coming back to life and restoring the country to former glory. Got a sequence where Nelson beats Simon Cowell to death with his telescope and... Sorry, you probably wanted more of a 10-word pitch.
Yeah. How would you feel if someone said, it's not Nelson fighting Simon Cowell, it's Churchill shoving Michael Gove headfirst into a bucket of offal?
Actually, that's quite good. I might use that.
You and I are artists. We don't take orders.
Yeah, but I'm also kind of your employer, though, aren't I?
No. The bathroom is my employer.
I came home to find our bathroom half covered in all these black and purple tiles that I'd explicitly said I didn't want.
Yes, it can be difficult when you find yourself involved with someone who you may have misjudged. Sorry, that's my email going berserk. I'll shut it down.
You were saying that you're involved with someone you misjudged?
No. I was saying you were involved with someone you may have misjudged.
Sorry, slip of the tongue.
But the point is, every day you said you'd stand up to him, and each day I came back, something else was being done that we didn't want.
I've been thinking more about the shower enclosure you want, and I think it would be really cool to have it in the middle of the room.
The middle of the room?
Yeah, more of a statement than just sticking it in the corner.
Yeah, won't that mean that water will go all over the floor and the toilet and the walls?
Wet room.
Yeah, it'll be a very wet room.
No. It's a style of bathroom, a wet room. The whole room is tiled and waterproofed. We can have jets of water coming out of the walls. Maybe make the decor like a rainforest.
Well, purple and black's not very rainforesty.
Yeah, I can redo the tiles. It's no problem.
Look, I mean, these are really great ideas, Adam, but they're going to take longer and cost more than a boring old shower with a curtain or a piece of glass that stops water going all over the place.
Fine. I can do that. It's just, I stopped wearing a suit so I could, express myself and not have someone else tell me what to do, It's just, that's what gave me the breakdown.
breakdown?
No, it's nothing really. You know, as you have a bad day at work, you end up standing on the roof of your office screaming how much you hate your life. I was never going to jump. I just wanted to urinate on my boss's car. It was the fact that my aim was so bad that made me want to jump, but I didn't. Security shot me with a dart gun. I mean, maybe I should go through that type of experience again. It made me reevaluate my life, and change is good. But I don't think my wife could go through another change like that.
I'll tell you what, you run with whatever ideas you've got. We had to keep him on because he's married to Annabelle's boss, and we couldn't contradict any of his suggestions in case it triggered another breakdown. We were saving their marriage at the expense of ours.
And the work was just dragging on, which not only was costing us more than we budgeted for, we had nowhere to shower. I was going into work early to wash in the staff toilets and bribing the cleaners not to mention it. Guy.
Oh, sorry, I was deep in thought there about the issues you've raised and how to deal with them. On a basic level, it's always stressful for couples living through building work. Routines are disrupted, there's noise and there's dirt.
Wow. Can't put a price on these pearls of wisdom, Guy.
Well, sometimes the simplest analysis is the best.
If that was true, Nick Knowles would be presenting Newsnight. I suggested an easy solution to being disrupted by the building work. We could have moved into Graham's flat.
That was never going to happen. I don't feel safe in Graham's flat. As a rule, I don't like being in the homes of men who own night vision goggles.
Why does he have night vision goggles?
It's not weird. He's not a peeping Tom or anything. You know, he likes to shoot rats with his crossbow.
Why are you friends with this man?
I know you've never liked him, but in the event of an apocalypse, Graham's the go-to guy.
But outside of the apocalypse, he has no function.
Look, I really resent the fact that you instigated the whole mess, and yet I was the one who had to sort it out for you. I'd have rather not washed for a month than go through what I did to get you somewhere to shower. Certainly would have been cleaner. Hi, Saskia.
Will?
Listen, I want to apologise for what I said about recycling and the pond. It was very blinkered of me.
Well, I'll accept your apology provisionally, pending evidence of a greater commitment to Gaia.
Well, I can give you that evidence now. I'd like to help dredge the pond. By restoring it, we provide open green space for the community to share, as well as sustaining a breeding environment for several rare species of local aquatic fauna.
Have you memorised my leaflet?
Guess when I finally read it, it just really struck a chord with me.
Well, we could really do with your help. There's 2 foot of compacted vegetation that's proven very difficult to dig out.
Oh, well, I'll get my wellies on and meet you there first thing. Oh, by the way, we're having our bathroom redone. It's taking longer than we thought. I don't suppose we could use your shower in the mornings?
Of course, no problem at all. Just not whenever you need to.
Oh, thanks so much. See you tomorrow.
Oh, well, by the way, I also need someone to help muck out the goat pen at the city farm.
The thing is, I do kind of have a job in the day.
We're a volunteer down at the moment. I can do it myself, but might mean I'm out at odd times. Might not be in exactly when you need your shower, but I'm sure we can work around it.
You know what? I'd love to do the goats too.
It's not that I didn't appreciate your sacrifices, Will.
You were totally dismissive.
And I was annoyed about how you let both Adam and Saskia emotionally blackmail you.
It's a terrible thing, emotional blackmail. It's very hard to know how to deal with it, because if someone is exhibiting a pattern of unstable behaviour, confronting that behaviour can exacerbate the instability. In my experience, ignoring the unreasonable behaviour is often the best course of action.
Coward! You come down and talk to me!
Well, who's she yelling at?
I've no idea.
I know you're up there. You have
Sorry, I just need to...
Yeah.
I'm having a few personal issues at the moment. I'm sorry, continue.
Are they issues around your masculinity?
No.
Is she a client?
No, look, this isn't about me. We were talking about emotional blackmail.
And Annabelle not appreciating how dirty I made myself so that she could wash.
None of that would have been necessary if you'd have just stood up to Adam in the first place.
Hi.
Have you done it yet?
What?
You know what? Have you told him we don't want a mirrored ceiling and floor?
I mentioned it, but he says it will give us the sensation of vertiginous infinity.
What, to who? An obsessive skydiver? For God's sake, just go in there now and tell him to stop.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll look him in the eye and tell him we just don't want it.
And ring me straight back when you've done it.
How did you take it?
He's redoing the kitchen.
What?
I don't know what happened. I went in to tell him to just do the bathroom how he wanted, and he started talking about how once you've changed the decor in one room, you have to see it through across the whole property.
We can't afford that.
I think he said that if the bathroom was his employer, then the bathroom was itself an employee of the property. It made sense 15 seconds ago.
But what happened to look him in the eye and tell him what's what?
I looked him in the eye, and his eyes just told me to repeat what he said and nod.
You do realise he's going to make us homeless?
Well, you come and tell him what to do.
I can't have a confrontation with him. His wife is my boss. I need you to play bad cop.
I'm no kind of cop. At best, I would be hiding in the toilets when there's a riot on cop.
Fine, so we're just going to let him redo our kitchen as well, are we?
Well, if you don't want to upset your boss, I guess we have to.
This better be a human.
Dad?
Oh, Annabelle, excuse me. Getting a lot of automated sales calls at the moment. I like to check them straight away. No sense insulting a machine for 2 minutes. You can't make them cry.
Look, have you got a minute? I need to ask a favour.
I'm in a slight rush. We're off to a cookery demonstration by Heston Blumenthal. Your mother's choice. I think the man's one up from a cannibal.
This is a little awkward, but I need to borrow some money.
Who's on the phone?
Annabelle, she needs to borrow some money.
Is it for IVF?
No! This isn't about children.
Not about children, dear.
Not a slight on you, my dear, but Will looks like a man with a very weak sperm.
If he's got any at all.
We're having some building work done, and it's just going way over budget.
You sure they're not just adding stuff to bamboozle you? I know what builders are like. Is he English?
Yes?
They're the worst. You want someone glad of the work. Some East European who still has the memory of stealing tools to break root vegetables out of the frozen ground.
We just need to borrow maybe £1,000 or two to tide us over. We'll pay you back.
Well, I suppose we could dip into the divorce fund.
Divorce fund? Oh my God, are you splitting up? What's going on?
It's not for us, it's for you.
Well, that's charming.
It's a statistical probability. Don't read too much into it. We started it before we'd even met Will. Although we did up the payments after that.
She's a woman I met in the bar. I don't normally do that kind of thing. No, look, I thought it was just a one-time thing, but she seems to have read more into it than I expected. She talks about feeling a connection that I'm just not sensing.
You seem to be carrying a lot of guilt about this guy, but to my mind, you haven't done anything untoward.
Oh, thanks, Annabelle. I appreciate that.
Sorry, are we counselling him now? I seem to be living in my own nightmare. You're actually sympathising with Guy?
Yeah, because he's not done anything wrong.
He had a one-night stand.
So?
It's madness to sleep with someone without some kind of basic background checks. Shows a complete lack of judgment. Like employing a builder without references to get in with your boss, then asking your parents for money to pay for the work.
That was an impulsive request I retracted. I came to my senses once I realised where we'd be eating while he was doing up the kitchen. Thanks for this, Saskia.
What's cooking? Smells of odours.
Nettle stew. I try to eat only produce found within a 2-mile radius of my flat.
Wow. You must eat a lot of crisp packets.
This should only be for a few weeks.
Not a problem. Oh, Will, with the success of the pond, we're moving on to the canal. We'll be sluicing out an algae infestation.
For fun or food?
Both.
I was totally going to stand up to him the next morning.
Oh, that was never going to happen.
I was working up to it and you went behind my back.
I needed a proper man to deal with it, so I got one.
I just think it would be a really striking central feature of the kitchen.
We don't really make pizzas, so I'm not sure we need a wood-burning pizza oven. on this plan you've shown me, there's no room for anything else. I mean, where does the sink go?
Well, it's going to be a split-level kitchen.
Has that ever been done before?
People were threatened by jazz. Great art should be a challenge.
Adam, look, take a seat and put the hammer down. I'm just not sure that... hang on, let me get that. John.
Is he in here? Listen up, bucko. You've bled my daughter dry long enough.
John, I promise, one day the book will sell.
Not you. I mean, yes, you too, but not right now. I'm talking to this man who wants to put a damn fridge in the shower and chairs on the sodding walls.
Who are you?
I'm a man who despises leather wall tiles, underfloor heating and doors made of mirrors, and I like my toilet flusher visible and obvious. Your sort would have us all standing in front of unflushed lavatories, waving our arms around like demented beekeepers. Get out!
It was incredible. Adam just picked up his tools and left. Such authority.
Did Annabelle's father say anything more to you?
No, he just handed me the bill for the petrol it had cost him to drive up and sort out my mess. Then he offered me £10,000 to leave the country and never come back.
Oh, I'm sure he was joking.
No, he had it in a briefcase. What can I do? He's never going to respect me. No one respects me.
Hey, don't be silly. I respect you.
You kept going on about how I wasn't man enough to take control of Adam.
Well, that's just because I was angry at myself and not having the guts to admit I made a mistake.
You were projecting your own sense of impotence on Will. How was your boss?
Which is fine. She's actually divorcing him now. He bricked up the stairs in their house and put in a fireman's pole.
That I would have loved.
I suppose next time, the key is not to rush into things, whether it's hiring a workman or being offhand with your neighbour. And likewise, to accept responsibility for your parts in creating the situation rather than blaming each other, which you seem to have done.
Oh, don't worry about Dad, Will. He's going to completely change his attitude to you when we tell him what I know.
Excuse me, I have to deal with this.
What's that?
Claude, this is my workplace.
I'm pregnant.
Is it mine?
Of course it's not yours, Guy. Oh, that one. That one's probably yours. Annabelle's one is mine, isn't it?
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith was performed by Will Smith, Patterson Joseph, Sarah Hadland, Susie Blake, Jeffrey Whitehead, Dan Tetzel and Tracy Wiles. It was written by Will Smith and the producer was Talusha Galani.